Hi everybody, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me. Hope you're doing well today. Thank you so much for being here. It's wonderful to have you in our world, in our community of older women who are just doing the most to live with passion and purpose in our 60s. And most of us are going through some kind of redefinition or reassessment of who we are, what we're doing on this planet, and how we relate, to our dreams and our desires. Now, one of our bloggers, Leslie Moon, wrote this article on the imposter syndrome, what it is and how we can defeat it. And this is a topic that I know Brene Brown has talked about. I know Oprah and other people have talked about this imposter syndrome. But what is it? Do you suffer from it, or do you deal with it? I wouldn't say suffer from it. It's kind of something that just is ingrained in the way that we see the world, in the way that we see ourselves. And in her article, she talks about women who, in her experience, who have, in their 50s done amazing things, like someone who's relocated to a country where they didn't even know the language, where they just said, I've got to go. A woman who had, I think she adopted twins when she was in her 50s. There's another story of women that are written books, started businesses, who didn't have any skill particularly or any kind of, roadmap or plan. They just really, really wanted to do it. So they did. And that's the story that she tells. And she says that these women mostly suffer, every single one of them deal with this imposter syndrome. And what is that? Well, it's just simply where you think you're not good enough for it. Like you're just making it up what is it? Fake it till you make it. And that you're like faking it more than you're making it. And despite what other people might say, despite what your little inner voice might say, you're going to be strong and do it, whatever that is. But in your heart of hearts, you feel like you're an imposter. Like you're just not real. You're telling a lie. You're faking it. And this is what Leslie says most of her clients when they talk to her about this dream that they've got to do something crazy, impossible, unbelievable. They say, I'm just not good enough. I don't know why I'm even thinking about doing this. And we'll talk in a second about how friends don't help sometimes and family, because they just want the best for you. And we're programmed, in our DNA, in our bodies, to want comfort and safety. This is what our brain does. This is its job. Its job is to keep us safe. It doesn't want us going off doing crazy things. I'm going to buy a motorcycle. No, you're not. Don't be silly. You can't ride a motorcycle. You've never taken a lesson in motorcycle riding. You've never even ridden a bike. This is your little voice, right? The little funny nose here. It's like, I don't know why that started. But anyway, when you get excited about something new, your little imposter inside your head says things to you like, you're kidding. You're going to move to Italy. Like you don't even know how to speak Italian. Do you even know where Florence is? You don't even know the country. You can't cook, it goes on and on. This is what the little voice, you don't, and it usually starts with sentences like, you don't know anything about, where are you going to find blank? Whatever it is something that leaves you with a question. Like, what skills do you have that's going to make that possible? What skills? I don't have these skills. Fill in the blanks. So this is the challenge that we face. And read the article by Leslie, though, because she does such a better job of talking about this. But I'm talking to you about my own experience. And my own experience with 60 and Me, for example, and this isn't the first time. I actually have had jobs where I went into the job interview thinking, I'm totally not the right person for this job, but I really want it. And I remember with my very good friend Austin, who I interviewed with at Microsoft, he just sat there and looked at me like, in his face was like, why is she talking about Lakshmi, the goddess of wealth and abundance in India? He was like looking at me like I was crazy. And then at the end he said, I really want you to do this job. And for a couple of 3 years, we were just the best team ever. And it was because I wasn't going to come up with reasons for doing it. I just knew that in my heart, there was a reason that I was the best person. And I wanted it. I wanted it really badly. And I did it. And we got through it. But anyway, this is just my experience. And then with 60 and Me, that was even more intense because it was, I'd written all my life. I had, I'd done like play blogs on different topics like downsizing, and I'd done I'd been online. I knew, and of course technology at Microsoft, but I had never, and I had a business. I did actually have a business in Seattle. it was a retail store. It was called Passion for India. Any of you who remember Passion for India in Seattle? I was there for 4 years in this beautiful shop, and I wanted to do a retail shop. That was one of my dreams. I wanted a bookstore, but that was one of my dreams, to own and run. I was working at Microsoft while I had hired someone to run the shop. But anyway, so those two things. But 60andMe, it was like, how are you going to start a business? You have no savings. You have no real experience of building a community that you know you're going to need to build here in order to get your message across and engage a large number of over 60 women to help each other. That was the kind of mission. But it's like, this little imposter was like, Margaret, there's much better people that can do this. What do you think you're doing? You haven't got the skills to do that. You don't know anything about building a community of thousands of women. You don't know anything about writing or Instagram or you just name it. You name the thing that I didn't know anything about. Anyway, but as I said, why do we experience this imposter syndrome? Well, as I said, moving from comfortable to scary is not what our body is designed to do. Our brain, as I mentioned earlier, our brain's job is to keep us safe, keep us alive, keep us not just physically alive, but mentally alive. Doesn't want us messing with things that are going to make us sad or unhappy or stressed or anxious. Our brain just wants us calm. It wants calm. It wants predictability. It doesn't want serendipity and synchronicities and all these weird things coming at you from different angles. It just wants to be able to know that you're going to be safe. But it's just a thought. And this is what Leslie talks about in her article, which I think is really, really cool, that your brain is generating these thoughts for one reason only, and that's to keep you safe. But it doesn't mean that you cannot live your dreams. So you've got to push your anxiety aside, push your fears aside, and you've got to go for it. And as she mentioned, that woman who had gone to Italy without even knowing the language, she learned, she survived. I think she has a really, really happy life there. But she gives some things you can say to yourself to get you kind of in the mood for fighting that imposter little voice, and things like formulating some goals that are specific and saying, I deserve to live the life I want. I deserve to live the life I want. I am a healthy and active woman. I am learning and growing every day. I'm learning and growing every day. If you can say those things, I'm a good person. I'm a strong person. I'm healthy. I'm active. I've got skills. I can learn. I can grow. And visualize yourself doing those things. This is the key. You then sort of find it, go to a quiet spot and just visualize yourself in that place. What are you wearing? Where are you? What are you thinking? What are you doing? Who are the people that are around you? A friend of mine, Ray, used to, when I was trying to go through a difficult time in my life, he said, Margaret, you've got to create this Broadway show. This is your show. You've got to decide what your costumes are, what the makeup is, who the cast is, who's in the audience. It's a really powerful message from him. He's a good friend. But doing that visualization of your life in that new world, it takes the imposter and says, the imposter's like, but, and you're saying, I'm strong, I'm growing, I can learn, I'm okay. And you say it with enough strength and determination that you're okay. You feel like you can do it. The next thing that Leslie talks about is surrounding yourself with people who trust you and who believe in trust in your dream and are there for you. Now, a lot of friends who are like your brain will say, are you sure you want to move to Costa Rica? Are you sure? Or Italy or wherever you want to move to, Mexico, Panama. Are you sure? You're okay? And they do it with the goodness of their heart because they love you, they're your friend, but they can be the ones that can hold you back because they're much brighter than you. They're much smarter than you, right? They're not. They're just friends and they're like your brain. They want to keep you safe. So find a community of women who are going to hold you up and hold your hand and going to take you through the difficult times. And guess what? You're there. You found a place. 60andMe is a place for you to be part of a community of women who, they may not all be in the same position, but a lot of them are feeling like imposters, trust me, and a lot of them are feeling like they don't have the skills or the ability to do something they value, but they've got a good heart. This is the kindest community that I think I've ever experienced in my life. I mean, yes, we have people that have different points of view, political and social, culturally, everything. But we are a kind and loving community, and I think it's that kind of acceptance that is what's the ground that you can build this kind of challenge against an imposter syndrome. So, And ask yourself the question, this is the big one. What will happen if I don't do this? What will happen if you don't make this change right now? If you just don't overcome the imposter syndrome that says you're not good enough, you're not smart enough, you're not clever enough, you're not, strong enough, and you just say, what will happen with your life if you don't do it? You got to do it. You just got to do it. If not now, when? Deborah, one of my friends, wrote that to me the other day. We were talking about it in our Patreon group, which is, by the way, a fantastic group if you want a small dialogue. We do live shows Monday, Wednesday. We do exclusive videos. But anyway, she reminded me that, if not now, when? Oh yeah, we were talking about clothes, and somebody said, should they go out in this particular outfit? And someone said, does it matter? Does it really matter what anyone else thinks? No, this is your life, your story. So thank you for being here. I just love this topic. Thank you, Leslie, for writing the article and for inspiring me to share it with you. Hope that it touches you somewhere, that helps to motivate you either away from the imposter syndrome or deeper into it and through it. So take really good care, everybody. Have a wonderful day wherever you are, and know that you're loved and respected and valued here. And we'll see you again soon. Take good care. Bye-bye for now.